Okay, well, welcome everyone to tonight's meeting of the Finance and Governance Committee of Georges River Council. I declare the meeting open at 6:31 p.m. We'll start with the acknowledgement of country. I'd like to acknowledge the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the lands, waters and skies in the Georges River area. I pay my respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who live, work and meet on these lands. I believe we have all of our councillors here tonight. No apologies. We also have not had any requests for any councillors to attend via audio-visual link. So we'll move to the notice of live streaming. The staff and public are reminded that this meeting is being recorded on audio tape for minute-taking purposes and is being webcast live on Council's website. This recording will be made available on Council's website. The Code of Meeting Practice, the order of business is as shown in the agenda, which has been made available, and staff and public are reminded that this meeting is open. Doors to the meeting room are to be left open unless the meeting moves into a closed confidential session, according to section 15 of the Code of Meeting Practice. And Council's Code of Meeting Practice prohibits the electronic recording of meetings without the express permission of Council, and mobile phones must be turned to silence during the meeting. Councillors, do any councillors have any disclosures of interest to declare? No? Okay. Public participation on items on the agenda. There are no registered speakers tonight for tonight's meeting. So we'll move to the first item of business, which is the confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting. Councillors, can I have a mover and a seconder to Councillor Marnie?
Madam Chair.
Councillor Marnie moved it. Is it okay, Councillor Symington to second it? Thank you. So that's the minutes of the previous meeting held on the 10th of October 2022, item FIN 051-22. Any questions or discussion, councillors? If not, we'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. All those against, I'll declare that carried. Okay, so we move into the committee reports now. The first item is FIN 052-22. That's the investment report as of the 30th of September 2022. Can I have a mover and seconder?
Mover.
Moved by the Mayor Katras, seconded by Councillor Marnie. Thank you, Councillor Marnie. Councillors, do we have any discussion on the investment report? Or any questions? No? If not, the motion is that the investment report as of the 30th of September be received and noted by Council. So I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. All those against, I'll declare that carried. The next item of business is the FIN 053-22. That's the quarterly budget review report for the period ending 30th of September 2022. Can I have a mover and seconder, councillors?
I'll move.
The Mayor has moved that. Councillor Symington has seconded that. And councillors, do we have any questions or discussion?
I'd like to talk, but you ask your question.
Have a question, Councillor Marnie?
Thanks,
Yes, Councillor Marnie.
Madam Chair. A couple of questions. Under the heading Detailed Capital Budget Variations, the QBR indicates the funding source of $275,000 for the Hurstville Aquatic Centre chiller replacement is internal reserves. Could I ask which reserves that refers to, please?
To the director. There was the quarterly. Could you repeat the point, Councillor Marnie? Quarterly budget.
Yeah, quarterly budget review statement under detailed capital budget variations.
Is it in the summary report or in the actual report?
I've got it.
You got it? Okay.
Through you, Madam Chair. That's the commercial property reserve.
Thanks. And yeah, just another question. There's a funding source of $316 for Oatley Bowling Club remediation. Is that through a grant, internal reserve, or developer contributions? Could we get a breakdown of that, please?
Through you, Madam Chair. We'll take that on notice and provide that out of session if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Look, I just want to make a quick comment basically on these this quarterly budget review. report for the period ending 30th of September, it actually reads extremely well. I've got to say it's a fantastic performance, and I must admit that it's got a lot to do with tightening our belts. And when you look at it, we've actually got an overall budget surplus of $3.3 million. And the report is quite comprehensive and quite detailed. And I want to thank the council officer or the acting director for putting this together. I think that, okay, fair enough, it's looking good, but it doesn't mean that we can let loose our belts, because I think we'll find that we'll be in serious trouble again. But I just think that, okay, a budget surplus doesn't necessarily mean that we're actually giving the community all the services that they're entitled to. But at the same time, when you read this report, the level of services hasn't been reduced, which is good, which is very good. But at the same time, I think that we need to understand that as soon as we see things like this, don't let loose on sort of thinking of other things to do and other things to purchase and other things to put into place. This is what we've got. We've got to continue on like this. And don't forget, we've got to find $8 billion in the next 5 years. So I can't remember how many we've got to find, but we've got to find a lot of money to remain financially capable. But thank you very much. And I think the council officers continue on with those restrictions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And yeah, I'd like to, sorry, Councillor Simonton, you had
I've just got a question for you, Madam Chair, to the Acting Director. Just in there with the legal costs, will we be getting, for the ICAT legal costs, are we going to get the 1.2 million back from the insurer now?
Through you, Madam Chair, I believe the Acting General Manager last time answered that question in regards to we've submitted the claim, and that's where it's at.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo the Mayor's comments about the positive results for the quarter. And I just wanted to, one of the areas was that the operating income for the September quarter is above budget by 1.4 million, which is some community halls, venue and synthetic field hire of 1.2 million was $720,000 above the budget. So I was just hoping that the Director could give us some examples of what helped achieve that positive result.
Through you, Madam Chair, I'll refer that to the Acting Chief Financial Officer, Craig Henry, to answer. Thank you.
Thanks, Danielle. So through you, Madam Chair. Yes, the hall and venue hire income was strong for the quarter, particularly strong. Two of the main areas was in Hurstville Entertainment Centre and also the Marana Auditorium. Now, the bookings that we do take for these venues, they have been booked out to around the December period. So a lot of the income doesn't specifically just relate to Q1. Some of it is timing and the fact that when the booking's made, we acknowledge the income. So that has happened a little bit in Q1. But look, overall, it has been a good result for those two centres in particular, particularly when you look at the last couple of years, given that it is rebounding well from COVID. So it's been quite strong. The other things we have seen is a few Dragons games. So 3 Dragons games in particular was invoiced in that Q1 period as well at Jubilee Stadium. So that also helped boost the results. So yeah, it was a good quarter.
Good quarter, but we have to make it last.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Does any other councillors have any questions or comments on the quarterly budget review? If not, it's been moved by the Mayor, Katras, and seconded by Councillor Simonton. I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. All those against, declare it carried. So next we move to FIN 054-22. That's the amendments to the 2022-2023 fees and charges. Councillors, can I have a mover and seconder on that item? It's moved by the Mayor. And seconded by Councillor Marnie. Do any councillors have any questions on this report?
I do have a question through the chair. The animal intake administration fee is a $50 one-off, which we're going to pay for. Why don't we add it to those who are not being taken care of their dogs or cats or whatever they may be?
To the Director.
Sorry, through you, Madam Chair, can you just clarify, do you mean retrospectively or for?
Now, basically, it's saying here, they're obviously the people that pay the fee are the people whose dog, cat, whatever, is impounded if they want it back. But I've written the report somewhere, there is a one-off fee for every animal that's taken in by them, a one-off fee of $50. Now that's not mentioned anywhere. Is that what I'm trying to say is that one-off fee paid directly by the council, or is it a one-off fee that whoever's animal is impounded has to pay on top?
Through you, Madam Chair, so yes, that would then be passed on, so they've got to pay that fee. So currently I believe we're taking the cost, and this is to recoup that cost associated with it, though this particular business unit might be best to clarify that if required, so we can pass on that question and take
Yeah.
it on notice.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if we're the ones that are going to be paying for it, because unfortunately the costs have increased dramatically. So
It does say in item B, the following fees be added to the schedule of fees and charges.
So they would pay it.
Yeah, so it's a user pay model.
so it's a user pay. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Councillors, any other queries on this report? No? Okay, well, I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
All those against, I'll declare that carried. And that brings us to the last item of business, which is FIN 055-22. That's the Auditor General Audit Procurement Management in Local Government. Can we have a mover and a seconder? The Mayor's going to move it again for me.
Move it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'll second,
And
Madam Chair.
Councillor Symington, thank you. Councillors, any discussion or questions on this report? Councillor Marnie?
Thanks, Madam Chair. I understand that there are other matters concerning procurement which are identified by the Auditor General and not evident within the report. Have all these matters now been rectified? Thank you.
To the Director.
Through you, Madam Chair, I'll refer that to the Acting Director, Legal Services, Miss Weatherly. Thanks.
Through you, Madam Chair, yes, we made a subsequent submission to the Public Accounts Committee, which we made in February, which outlined the progress we'd made on all the recommendations, because there were some general ones for local government, plus the one specific to Georges River. We can provide a copy of that letter for the councillors. The final piece of the puzzle from our point of view has been the work we've done over the last few months in having a proper project process to ensure that we don't just procure the project the right way, we actually have the right projects. So it's about identifying priority projects in terms of what's important, how they align to the strategic objectives of the council and their importance, and we're doing that work now. So that sort of was the very last part of that puzzle, and that work's happening now, and will inform the draft budget that's presented to council early in the new year. So the answer to that is yes, and happy to provide a copy for that to councillors, which we'll do so via the councillor hub.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Marnie. Councillors, any other questions on that item? If not, it's been moved and seconded, so I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. All those against? No, we'll declare it carried.
Marnie was against.
Oh, sorry. Are you voting against? Sorry, Councillor Marnie. Councillor Marnie is voting against that. So we have the Mayor, myself.
I just asked Peter to speak on it so I can understand why.
I don't think he has to speak on it, but maybe what we might do is ask the staff if you could go around and just formally take the votes for the record, if that's okay.
Can I start with your vote first, please, Mr. Mayor? Your vote, Councillor Borg.
For.
Councillor Jamieson. Councillor Marnie,
Against?
Councillor Symington.
That's 4 votes for and 1 vote against, so we'll declare that carried. And I think we're about to that there being no further items of business on the agenda, I will declare the meeting closed at 6:47.
Thank you, Madam Chair.